right. Beard is not right. Let me, whoops, sorry. Give me a holler every time you can't see it because I'm not paying attention here. I'll use this eraser here. So sometimes it is important to make sure that you get the right marks in. And okay, that's what we got so far. So the arm and the beard is going to come together like this. And see, now we're starting to take shape here. And the same with the hood here. Now I want to put a tuft in the hood here. But I'm going to leave this to last because what's going to happen is that when I start shaping the head, all this is going to come back, and I don't want to commit to a tuft and then it turns out to be very thin at the end when I carve that out. I'm going to show you. I'll show you how that's all going to take place. All right, again, we're going to do the same thing as we're going to take our V-tool and commit to these lines. Commit or semi-commit. Well, let me know if you can't see that. Holler. Like I said, I've been carving for, at this point, over about 13 years. And I picked up a lot of stuff along the way and got into teaching. First I started teaching beginning wood carving. And that was fun. You know, when you want to start teaching beginning wood carving, I think that, well, it's a little easier because they won't know what you're saying. You know, if you say something that turns out to be not right, because that's the thing that's always nerve-wracking is, did I say something that's not right? But if you say that to seasoned carvers there, oh boy, is that the way it's supposed to go? No. But anyways, I found out that it's a little more difficult with beginning wood carving is because you got to watch how they handle that knife, you know. Wood carving knife is different than a regular like paring knife because the straight edge of the wood carving knife is the sharp end, where other knives, the round end, the flat end is the dull end or the back end. And I've had some students turn it around and push down with their thumb and oops, that's not what we wanted to do. A little red paint on their carving. Okay. Oh, I want to carve this in like this. Okay, let's see, any more lines that may want to go in? While we're at it, we could, no, I was thinking about putting the beard in, or the mustache in, but I don't want to do that in right now. Right now, everything is at a point where it's just a matter of cleaning up. But before I get into more bigger details, I want to show you what is doing what. Now this is a tuft. The tuft is going to be sticking out more than the arm. Same with here. So that's what we want to work on. We want to work on the tufts. Who's doing what? Which tuft is tougher than the other? Now, this being the hood, what's going to happen is that this, let's see if I can show any shadows here. This is going to be deeper. The bottom of the two This one's going to be deeper. Now I'll come back later. I just want to at least establish that this should be a little deeper. Because this is going to be like part of the hood in which he just put this on. So therefore, this part is just, you're just going to just kind of clean it up a little bit. This is just a matter of cleaning up. Like I said, I like to, even though I use my V tool, you could leave it as is, but I like to put a knife to it because it's more natural. It looks more, you know, imperfect. And therefore you get a better carving if it's, shall we say, a little more imperfect. So here's the difference. We're just rounding this off, but we're making this deeper. And that's going to be the same here. But something's going to happen here. As soon as I get this stand here, I'm going to show you something else in shaping. This is a little extra thing that I've added to my carvings. First we cut this out of here. Get it kind of started. And before we do that, I want to round this off a little bit here. Pay attention as to where it is so you can see this. Just to round it off here. Okay, being careful where the stocking comes in, comes out. Again, there's more cleaning out to do. Now what I like to do with my Santas and add a little extra character is making this part, you can see I already got it started, where this is going to be round and then it's going to come in. Let me show you first. So this is going to be up and you're scooping. Oh, be careful where the wood goes here, the grain goes here. There. Now you see that? I like to create that, that adds a little extra to it. Extra what? I don't know. Character. Okay, one more detail I want to put in, and it is a matter of just I'm going to show you what we're going to do in the back here. It depends on how much detail you want to put in here. This is going to be, like I said, this is going to be very, very, very simple. This is going to be the belt line, because he's going to have a belt. He's going to have a either a belt or a rope that's squeezing it together. Now you can do one of two things. Everything is kind of like assumed. We're going to tuck, and you're not going to see the rope at all. So in other words, it's going to be like a lap, Dunlap kind of a thing, a little bit like this, where you got the impression that there's a belt, there's a rope. And you could say maybe the rope or the belt is in front here, so it's covered up. So all we really care about is, I like to get it started with the V-tool. And like I said, you're going to create a Dunlapped over. These make very interesting Christmas presents, though. Very, people love these little Santas. Needs a little cleaning up. Now to finish the Dunlap here, except we're not done here. Wait a minute, let's clean it up by actually taking your knife, and we're going to go in deeper, not only into the wood deeper, but we're going to go up a little bit. One of the things when start doing a stop cut is you want to cut, I always say cut down, not across. Because if you just cut across, you're going to keep digging deep until finally you're going to slip and you're going to hit your finger. So when you cut, I always like to turn the carving. You come out of there now. Get out of there, you. want to add a little bit of relief here at the arm. A little bit of relief there. Then I want to finish this. You can see how it got in there. It's just I want to do some scooping here. You can use a chisel or just scoop. Maybe just round this just a little bit of rounding. Taking the pencil mark off. Now you can see there's our first real detail. Okay, I'm gonna cut right here. I'm gonna stop here and kind of take a break. And I'm gonna get more into the detail. And then I'm gonna do the face and the, probably spend most of the time is gonna be in the face and the beard. But what at least you can do, what I'm thinking of doing is just at least get some of these things pulled up. Like this here. Maybe cleaning up, like cleaning up this area a little bit. Oh boy, I do need to clean up this area quite a bit. But, okay, I'm going to stop this for right now. This is in part 1, I guess, and part 2 we'll finish it off in details. Again, my name is Russell Scott. You can see me at scottcarvings.com, one word. And I do have my blog there. And I also have other videos and beginning wood carving and bark carving and Native American carving. And I also have books in Santas and Native America. So check it out. I'll be right back. Hello again. Again, my name is Russell Scott from scottcarvings.com. I'm going to continue on with this old roll of Santa by adding a little more details and get to the rest of the face, the eyes and the nose. One of the things I want to do is just kind of bring some of these things out, kind of clean them up a bit here around the stocking, which we started. And I'm going to add a little more interesting, fancy details to the stockings. Make the stocking pop out a little more. So you can see that the stocking is kind of coming out a little bit. Maybe smooth it a little bit there. So that's why I want to clean it up here. Around the stocking. I want to curve this out a little bit. A little cleaner. I'm sure I'm going to have to do a little more work to it. I won't spend too much time doing this piddly stuff here, but I want you to see that it'd be important to kind of bring that sock out a little more. Okay. I'm going to take a pencil. I'm going to add something a little extra here. Before I do that, let me smooth this out here. Just a little bit. I'm going to more rounder there. I still want a little extra on top there because I'm going to be adding something, so I want a little extra lumber there. I'll have to clean that later. Anyways, what I wanted to do was take our pencil here and it's going to drive me nuts, so I better get Get that out of there. You know, it's kind of interesting when I look at it, I don't see these little things pop out. But on the camera, it sure does pop out like it's a huge piece of wood. I'm going to add a little snowman, or snowman, I say not ornament, but extra. Just want to kind of sketch it in. Let's put a little top hat here. Oops. Top hat's not coming out as well as I want it to. There. And so what we did with everything else is take the V tool and just kind of go over what we put in there. My V tool and just bring that out a bit. Or I'm right here. I've been carving Santas for all the time that I've been carving. And they're really fun to work with and to play with. And this is one of my oldest designs. In a way, I kind of got this idea from somebody else, not this particular. What happens is that, or what I did, was I carved his Santa, which is, if you were to take his Santa and my Santa today and put them together, you wouldn't even think they were even closely related. Because what I did was I'd take his and I'd add this and subtract that and move this around just by a little bit, and you could hardly tell that this is where I started with this particular model design. There we go. And I'm trying to think, let me see if we have this red, and of course this be white, black. Well, they have that white as well, I suppose. So we added a little snowman there. Clean that up a little bit to bring it out. So it's kind of an embroidery, kind of a embossed. No, embossed is the other way out. It's the opposite of embossed. And I'm going to probably spend a little more time detailing that and picking at that later. For the sake of the video, I want to move on and get other important things done. I'll pick at it more later. But there you can see it kind of sticks out a little bit. Now for the present, the way I like to carve the present is you can, if you want to keep it like that and just carve out and leave it as is, carve out the saw marks. You can if you want, like that. And then you would draw ribbons around there. But I'm kind of more into it being the square part looking at you. And it almost gets to a point like we're going to carve all of this away. And it opens up the stocking a little bit. Like he just pulled it out of the stocking. Or he's going to add it to the stocking. Very interesting trying to figure out which way the grain goes. It's not obvious. Carve the top, get the saw mark off of there. Connect with the beard. Okay, I'm going to pencil in the ribbon. Feed tool in the ribbon. I originally started with, well, not only the Santas, but I started to do a realistic for a while. In fact, I'm going to do a video on carving the woman's face in realism. And realistic is very hard to do, actually. If you're off by just a little bit, you know, it just doesn't look good. Where caricature, you can get away with a lot of stuff. There, again, I'm going to be spending more time cleaning that up. Let me get that reflection off of there. I tried to make it so that the ribbon is higher than the package. So it comes out. It's the same with the tufts and the hand here. I'm going to round it off just a little bit so it isn't square. I'm going to just V-tool this area so I can round off a little bit here. So it's a little more realistic. Then we want the tufts to go in the beard. And the tuft to go kind of down inside the stocking. I want to dig a little deeper here and pull this out to show that, there, see the dent, can you see the shadow? I'm trying to get it so, take the light off just a little bit. No, that ain't gonna help. Adds a little shadow to show that the hand is going in. And round off the hand. That's holding the present. Oops. Like I mentioned before, I am going at a pretty quick pace here. For the sake of kind of keep everything in a respected video timeline. So you can always push pause. Okay, so that rounds off pretty good there, compared to this side, which is still flat. Let's do that again. Let's see, I want to re-V it. Get a little deeper. And again, it's a matter of rounding things off. You're just rounding it, that's all. Doing a lot of that now that we're detailing. Need to get another knife so I can get in there. That was my, see, this is my detailing knife. That was my, what do they call it, rough out knife. Take care of this again. Put a little shadow in there. So pulls the arm out a little bit. Now how did I do on this side? Make sure I be at least semi-symmetrical. The human form is not really perfectly symmetrical, which is good for wood carvers, of course. But I try to aim for it because I miss it most of the time, and it's better to be close than way off. I'm sure there's more detailing that I will need to do, but right now I'm going to move on. We rounded all that out. Oops, we're getting too far off the screen again. This is rounded off a little bit. Make sure that the tuft is a little higher. It does drive me nuts leaving things uncleaned. I don't know if that's the best way to put it. Okay, getting there. Moving on up the arm, just rounding it a little bit. I want to put a little more depth between the arm and the back. And the tuft has got to stick out longer than the arm. Now we did talk about we want the bottom part to be sticking out more than the top part would be. But we want to round that off a little bit. We may have to come back at resetting it, reseating it, setting it, seating it. And this a little deeper, rounder. Okay, itch my ear a little bit, and then we're going to move on. Before I start rounding out the tuft, let me clean this up a little bit here, bring this out. Okay, let's just round this off, and what I like to do is give it a scoop like this. You'll see why. I like it when it's scooped. I put my other knife out there so I can get it in there. And we're generally taking a lot of the old marks off too. Get my detailing knife back. Sometimes I start detailing with my rough out knife. And see how it gives that kind of a scooped look. I like that scooped look. And then you would clean it off just a little bit here. So you kind of take the straight edge off there. I want to be careful on this end because I don't want it to be too defined. Okay, still working our way up. Again, we can come back to do some cleanup. Like for example here, I'll be needing to clean this up. It's a little ragged there. Probably looking at it and saying, clean it up. But moving on, I'll clean it up later. Getting quite a bit of detailing done. Now I want to get the hood in. So I'm going to have to use the big knife. And I'm just going to follow along again, careful, again, rotating the carving. I'm going to get a lot of that out because we're going to be working with this. I'm going to call it playing with it and retouching up and recarving and you'll see why here. Okay, so I got the hood started out. See how that broke off, but that's okay. We're going to probably get deeper into that. Okay, I'm going to get starting in on the head. Clean up the beard a little bit. That's not too bad right now. I can clean up later and putzing with little things I need cleaning up. I'll just have to clean it up later. Okay. Now one of the first things I want to do is I want to take and remove some of this so the head comes out more. Now the head from the front and the back, right in the center is where the ear would start. And we don't want to play with the ear, but the ear would be about here. So we've got all of this room to play with and not worry about having to get into the ear. So I just want to, just a little bit, we'll just have the head come out a little more. Get my big knife out. Now this is going to be the fun. This is going to be fun. Fun meaning scary. In that, I hope we don't take half the face off. You know, and every time I do this kind of carving, is you just figure on how deep you want to push the knife in, and not just keep pushing it as hard as you can until something happens. just only want to go this far. You see, we got quite a bit more face to play with, so it isn't so the face is not going to be flat. Same thing on this side. So it's like you're blocking this out. There we go. Of course, don't use the tip of your knife as a pry tool. Don't mind that. I'll get back to it later. I was waiting for somebody to give me a call while I'm filming here. Okay. Now you can see we brought the face out a little more. Brought the face out a lot more. Now I want to take your carving and you bring it at a 45-degree angle. See, I mean, there's the straight on, and then there's the profile, but right in between. And like what you did to the eye, where you brought the carving up at parallel to the eye line, do the same thing here. Whoops. Whoops, I think I broke off some of that. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to have to work with that. Oh, I think I got plenty there. Same on this side here. Bring this around. 45. And what's going to happen, we're going to still do some more detailing. When you turn your carving the face at a profile, you should still be able to see the eyeball when we get there. When we start bringing in the eyeball, which will be shortly here. Now I like to carve sort of at maybe a 20-degree angle this way. It'll give it a more happier, satisfied face. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, instead of a mean face or a... Where's the light? Oh, there we go. I think I mean to bring the light just a little bit this way. See, will that help? There. Get this out here. There you go. This works better this way, like this. Round that off a little better. Oh, there's still more I gotta do to that. That's better. Now you can take a chisel if you want and round that out. I just like to keep it at with a knife. It still gives that knife edge look. Now preparing for the eyeball, though we're not going to do the eyeball right now. I want to do that near the end. I want to carve into the nose base a little bit right here, because you want to see the eyeball is going to be round like a ball,